Parshas Teruma begins a series of parshios that discuss the mishkan, its building, its utensils, and its dedication, going from Parshas Teruma through Tetzava and through the first half of Kisisa. And there's a famous machlokes between Rashi and Ramban regarding the order of these parshios. Rashi says that these parshios are not in order. The command to build the Mishkan, in fact, was given after the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. But the Torah gives the instructions earlier, right after Matan Torah, because in Mukdam u'Me'uchar b'Torah, there's no before and after in the Torah. Ramban, Kedako B'Kodesh, says that these parshios are in fact given in order, and the instruction to build the Mishkan came directly after the mitzvos of Parshas Mishpatim, which themselves came directly after Ma'amad Har Sinai. And the Ramban and Rashi's opinions aren't just a difference in terms of the order of events, but they also seem to speak to a difference in the purpose of the Mishkan itself. Rashi, who sees the command to build the Mishkan as coming after the Chet HaEgel, sees the Mishkan as an atonement. It's primarily there to restore the close relationship between Hashem and between Bnei Yisrael that was lost when Bnei Yisrael sinned by worshipping the golden calf. The Mishkan is meant to bring us back to that relationship, to restore something that was lost. Ramban, on the other hand, sees the Mishkan as a way of maintaining the close relationship between Hashem and Bnei Yisrael that existed at the time of Ma'amad Har Sinai, at the time of Hiskalus HaShechina, when Hashem revealed himself to Bnei Yisrael as directly as could possibly be. And to the Ramban, he says this explicitly in his first comment to Teruma, the point of the Mishkan is to create a place for the Shechina to dwell directly, besocham, amidst Bnei Yisrael, just as it dwelt directly in front of them at the time of Matan Torah. And these two opinions of Rashi and Ramban don't just speak to the nature of the order of the Torah, of the way the Torah tells stories or gives information. It doesn't just even speak to a difference in terms of the purpose of the Mishkan itself, but I think it also speaks to a difference in how we ourselves should view our Batei Knisios, each of us our own Mikdash Me'at. And I think there's something that we can learn from both opinions in terms of how we relate to a shul. From the Ramban, we learn that sacred spaces matter. The way that they're built, the attention to each detail, the symbolism, the beauty, the aesthetics of such a space, they matter. They contribute something essential to our religious lives. They allow us to experience a closeness and connection to God at a high level that we could not necessarily do without these spaces and their rituals and their symbols and their specialness. At the same time, from Rashi's opinion, we see that sacred spaces are ultimately tools, not ends to themselves. The point of a Mikdash or a Mishkan or a Beis Knesses is ultimately to achieve a sense of being close to God and directly in His presence. It's the subject of Ze Keli V'Yanvehu is, of course, Keli. This is my God, and I will glorify Him. It is ultimately about glorifying God. And as we enter a Beis Knesses, even though it's very important that it be beautiful, that it appeal to the senses, that it put us in a special state of mind in which we are receptive to communing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's important that we remember that the point of a shul is to bring us there. It isn't an end to itself. it is the aesthetics of a shul serve the purpose of making that connection and approach to Hashem possible, so that we can approach Hashem and He can dwell amongst us. Have a good Shabbos.